Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Brian Pollard, aka F1 Pit Pass, and today I'd like to share with you, my viewers, some tips and tricks and gadgets that I've developed and used with my new camera. It's an insta360 1X. Amazing little camera, 2 lenses, 5.7K, 18 megapixel stills, can shoot HDR, low light, 100 frames a second, lots of settings, lots to learn, but that's for another day. Today we're looking at gadgets and tips and tricks I've found. So, as you see, I'm wearing the pouch around my neck, and I always, that is always, have it either in the pouch or on a tripod or any similar gadget that keeps the lenses from touching any other surface. It is a vulnerable little camera if you knock it about, so look after it, and as the saying goes, look after your gear and your gear will look after you. Okay, what do we need to have more fun with this? Well, you'll all be familiar with a selfie stick. A slim enough selfie stick so it doesn't show up in your footage. Extendable, and if you extend it so that the camera is almost horizontal when your arm's at your side or out, then the selfie stick will not show up in your video. It becomes invisible. Fantastic, great stuff, but doesn't solve every application you might have for this amazing little camera. So what could we do? Well, we could attach the camera to longer sticks, and I've taken that pretty extreme by attaching it to quite a long stick. Part of my fishing equipment, actually. This is my trusty margin pole. I don't expect everybody that's watching to be familiar with fishing, but suffice to say that these poles are made to take load and are extremely light and long. They have sections which join together by a taper. They also come apart and go inside each other for storage and transport. What I've done is find an old pole section from a long gone useful pole, araldited a suitable bolt into the end of the pole, and now I have a selfie stick, which in this instance, when attached to enough pole sections, extends to 14 meters, 42 foot, higher than a conventional two-story house. You'll see in the background photos I took recently using the 14 meter extended pole with a selfie stick attachment and the camera on the end. Yes, it's susceptible to wind. Yes, you have to give it some serious thought when handling it. I'll put a link in the description to a video where it shows me erecting and using the 14 meter pole, and you'll see that it's not something you would take on without careful thought. But the end product is fantastic. Aerial shots, drone-like shots without a drone. No regulation, licensing for filming as you would with any drone that's over 250 grams these days, this being 2019. So the fun's been taken out of my drone filming, and I'm equaling that same fun with putting the insta360 1X on the end of poles. Now, it doesn't stop there when we talk about poles. Here's a selfie stick, similar to the one you saw earlier. This one I've attached and araldited to a desktop mic stand, cast steel, heavy, and ideal for placing on the floor when taking panorama shots in a room. So creating a virtual tour through a house is a matter of taking round about 20 shots for a 3-bedroom house, all indoors. That's all the bedrooms, the bathroom, any spare rooms, kitchen, diner, downstairs. 17 panorama photos with the insta360 1X mounted on such a heavyweight device that keeps it solid. It can go from countertop mode to placing it on the floor. Another useful device, starting to get the picture out of here. Another similar selfie stick. Attached to a magnetic base. This gives us the opportunity, should we want to attach it to anything metal when we're on our travels. We've then got a sturdy mount for our trusty camera. The last thing we want it doing is clattering on the floor. I'll put links to the parts I've used creating these. The magnetic mount was, would you believe, a magnetic hook. Who knows what the original intention was, but when you unscrew the hook from the magnetic base and remove the end of the selfie stick, they fit together and they're crying out to be used as a combo when you're trying to create a photo with a situation that demands a magnet. Further mounts, here's one for you. Quick release G-clamp again. The 1/4 UNC bolt araldited to the end of the clamp, and another one on the side for good measure, so I have two choices of mounts on this particular clamp. And I don't know whether you're familiar with these. Any do-it-yourselfers will know that they're a boon. What you do is you place your clamp above and below an object you're trying to clamp, squeeze it tight, and there you have your Insta360 1X clamped to any awkward object. This could be used indoors on a breakfast bar or outside on a fence post, and I feel it would take a reasonable wind and a reasonable misshapen object. It's got quite a wide gape, not so much in the throat but certainly in the spread, so with a little bit of careful thought I dare say you could clamp it to a lot of objects when you're out and about. And it may be the answer to windy conditions. Another mount you may think is innovative and a bit too far. Mounting the camera to one of these magnifying lamp fitted magnifying glass headbands used in modelling, close-up work, soldering, preparing fishing gear. Not the most trendy bit of kit, but if it gets the job done, you know the story. Things we do for our art. I've mounted two bolts on this, one for my basic action camera and one for the Insta360 1X, to get two different perspectives on a day's fishing. I look forward to the next session and go out to try it. Aralditing suitable bolts to conventional tripods with brackets can also prove useful. This is one of my favourite tripods for keeping my camera safe when I'm not wearing it round my neck. I put the camera on the tripod, and when I put it down, it's always away from anything that's going to scratch the lenses. Getting to the end now, getting a bit more radical. What have we got here? It's a shoulder mount. You see the same selfie stick, the same action camera mount that you're familiar with from lots of action cameras. In this instance, I've flattened the tube of the selfie stick, drilled a hole and mounted it directly onto a suitable fitting, so it can be made quite solid extend out quite a way and give that drone-like shot of yourself being accompanied by a cameraman as you go about your filming. Extreme, maybe for some. If it works, it's worth looking silly for that short period of time. That concludes today's coverage of gadgets. I suppose I should show you the core of all of these sticks, and that is the glue is araldite, 2-part epoxy mix, and the bolts are 1/4 20 UNC. These particular ones I chose because they have a countersunk head, which is gives lots of surface area, and something for the epoxy to grab onto when you're gluing it to any of your poles or devices. So, hope you've got something from this. Hope you've enjoyed the short look at gadgets. If you've enjoyed the presentation, please give a thumbs up, click subscribe, and if you'd like to see further videos, leave comments below and maybe click the bell to receive notifications. This is Brian Pollard, aka F1 Pit Pass, signing off. Thanks for watching.